All right. Good morning, folks. Today we are going to just work into some kettlebell movements, squats, split squats, deadlift, single leg deadlift, overhead press, swings, and then like some Turkish get-ups. I might end up doing some like the postural or what's the word I looked at? Developmental sequence, I think I call it, like we're doing some tall kneeling, half kneeling, etc. Some chops. Kind of more of a grab bag thing rather than any specific amount of reps. Um, so yeah, kind of the plan. Uh, don't know what happened yesterday, but I just had no energy. Just felt really low and decided not to work out. Decided not to go to the gym this morning. I'm like, hey, I feel better today, but maybe I'll hedge my bets. The good news is it was a sunny day yesterday. Went for a walk as the day went on, and I ate a little more, hydrated a little more. My energy did progressively improve. So there's that. So again, listen to your body. Um, one workout missed isn't going to ruin everything, and that even just doing something that maybe is different is what's good for you. Okay, so like I said, I wanted to work into some of these movements. I haven't really been using the 70 pounder, and I bought it for a reason. So let's get at it. So, like I said, just some good old deadlifts to start. All right, like here we go. Boom. That's going to be sore. So that felt really good on the glutes and hamstrings. Felt decently good on that groin area, but from like a higher rep perspective, when I get into the swings, I know it's not going to be a good time. Alrighty. Gonna try a few sets of squats here. Goblet, front rack, front rack. We'll probably get into some split squats and RDLs. Maybe some push presses or attempt an overhead press. So, so the issue with that one wasn't so much the legs as it was the upper body. So, what I have noticed with my right groin issues recently is really trying to push through my foot, one, is extremely helpful. Two, I think I might have been trying to steer my knee too far over like my ring and pinky toe. And now when I really focus on like my second and third toe, get a lot more glute and less of that pinching, but there is like that kind of quick tendency to roll out. So it's interesting. Okay. I'll head into front rack here. So again, upper body was the major limiter on that. And now made me curious about something else. That's right. So that's decently tight versus it's even tighter. Interesting. All right. Seeing how tight my ankles are. They're both tight in different ways, but that should be, it's no real surprise. All right. Again, it's just that kind of top-down load through the chest, trunk, core stability that kind of gets me there. Okay. And I did get a nice little hip crack on my left side as I went down, so we'll see if that's a good thing, bad thing, or nothing at all. All right, we'll probably try the hardest thing in a second here as an overhead press. Giving my body a minute to recover. So I know my right arm is definitely the stronger pressing arm, or at least the more coordinated one. We'll see how the left side cooperates. All right. Okay. Nope. Nope. Yeah. Couldn't overhead press it. Couldn't push press it. I ain't going. All right. Let's see, where's my 45? So, right, 45 pounds just goes, up relatively decently. 70. Oh, not so much. So, this is what it is. Alrighty. Alright, so from here, I'll head into probably the second most technical or challenging movement because I haven't done in ages. The swing. I do plan on getting into Turkish get-ups, and I don't think that, are they technical? Yeah, just because there's like 6 different steps to it. And that's why it's, technical or complicated. I think, the swing is kind of a foundational, fundamental movement, but because of its simplicity, that's why it's so challenging. I guess I've really been working on my hinge because that felt great. Okay. Felt really good on my hips, good on the hams, no low back issues. There's the heart rate spike. Catch my breath for a second. So, I'll do another round and I'll see if I can do it wrong. Where I think years ago, when I was doing kettlebell swings, that's my cardio between every set. This is where I think I started losing my hinge and started doing a lot more kind of squatting with everything. So what I did on that first set was everything's coming from my hips going back, right? My feet stay planted, hips go back, I come up. What I used to end up doing was, right, my knees would bend forward, and I was standing up with the motion rather than sending it forward. So that's where, again, you saw how kind of like that first set of swings felt very fluid for the fact that I haven't done them in years, or at least a year. So we'll see what happens if I attempt to like squat it. All right, so yeah. Okay, so definitely feel sure it's the second set. Might not have fully recovered from that first one, but one, started to feel that right groin kicking in around rep 15, 16. First on the first set, didn't feel anything. So I ended up switching back to the hinge because it just didn't feel good, or just didn't feel right. What else? The and I also feel a lot more fatigue for having done it that way. Okay, one of the main things I definitely wanted to look at today, right? So that's where my watch just buzzed to let me know I'm in moderate heart rate. So I do want to take a look at my quad strength through split squats because the deadlift felt really good. My single leg deadlifts have been feeling progressively better. The kettlebell swings when I hinged felt awesome. So what I want to see is can I try and keep my trunk a little more vertical for split squats? And how does my body feel doing them with the 70 pounder? I've definitely been working on my hips a lot more, and I don't want to sway too far one way, ignore my quads in general, like in total, and then have to do this for another several months trying to rework my quads, forget my hinge, right? So it's like hips are feeling better. Let's take a look at the split squat here in a second. Whew. So split squat, we will single leg deadlift, get into some Turkish get-ups, and go from there. Whew. My hips are starting to burn. All right, so all right, so this is where you gotta scoot up. So again, if I come up nice and tall, one, I'm getting a really good stretch into this right hip flexor area. Two, my glutes are already kind of in a shortened position, so they're not going to work as as well as my quad. As soon as I lean forward, I'm putting more stretch on the glutes, so the glutes can take over this motion. So the emphasis is really going to be as best I can, try and keep my trunk nice and tall. And one of the other tips I saw was just because you're using a weight doesn't have to be at your complete side. Pressing the weight into that back leg can make your squat a little more, your split squat, lunge, whatever you want to call it, a little more stable. Of course, I haven't split squatted this long in quite some time with this kind of weight, so Whew. That was more challenging than I expected it to be. So we got about 7 reps there. So quads are definitely not as strong as they used to be, at least with split squats. Whew. Alrighty. Probably only going to do the right side. But going back to, this is why I reframed my home workouts. Rather than saying it's going to be a Bulgarian, a quad based, a glute based, a front foot, a rear foot, right? A lateral, a Cossack. It's a split squat. That's it. So what I can do is, future workouts I do one set of quad base, one set of glute base, and then maybe one set of Cossacks, right? So each one's a little different, but I get a little stimulus into each movement, which just, helps me for the future. One of the other pieces of advice I saw was for split squats specifically, because that they can be kind of not just like leg fatigue, but like systemically fatiguing. Shooting for 2 sets per leg is generally plenty rather than doing 3 or 4 sets. Again, that ends up being, if you do 3 sets, that's actually 6 sets. You're working your whole system. If you go for 4, that's 8 sets. So you are getting some kind of work in both positions. So if you've been really hammering split squats to like true, like near failure or near technical failure, maybe adjusting it may make you feel better. But again, you are ultimately the one who kind of helps decide what feels good. All right, Lauren, give myself 2 minutes. And that's where, again, going back to like the whole split squat thing, it's like, I have this one right now, but I can also get into the one where I'm driving my knee over my toe rather than pushing back for a little more ankle mobility work too. Okay, so we got this guy. So this is where I think my natural set point on this right foot, and this is where I'm getting a little bit of that groin pressure, is kind of out over my middle ring toe. All right, so one, kind of tucking my hips under, getting a pre-stretch on this left hip flexor. That already feels better. Okay, now as I go down, I'm really going to try and aim for my second toe. All right, could have gotten a little more, but whole leg started to like, my back leg particularly started to vibrate. So, this is where again I go back to the whole systemically fatiguing issue. So because of the weight, I was getting more feedback, which is great. I was definitely going into more of an anterior pelvic tilt, losing a stretch on my left hip flexor quad, and kind of getting like that discomfort on my right side. And as soon as I kind of engaged my core a little differently, got that stretch back on that left hip flexor, got less discomfort on that right side. So something different. All right, so let's see here. We got two other things. So I know I want to do some single leg deadlifts and then some Turkish get-ups. And that'll probably be plenty for today. And then maybe next time I'll go through the kettlebell sequence, tall kneel, half kneel kind of stuff, to not make this excessively long. This was not meant to be. This was meant to kind of get me moving today after the not so great day I had yesterday. Okay, very good. Pre-stretch on that hamstring and up and up and up. Oh, it's burning. And up, up, come on. All the way up. Oh, oh, that glute's burning. So, definitely gonna sit down after that. That was interesting. The double leg felt good, or the double hand grip felt good. As soon as I got into the single hand, I intentionally made myself kind of slow down, made sure I had I had a long arm, but with lat tension. Made sure my foot was kind of not just was grounded and pushing into the ground. Again, kind of took the slack out of my system to initiate the lift. So again, it was a decent amount of work on the right arm as well, just trying to get that long but lat tensed upper half. So that felt very good. All right. All right, that was the left leg. So the curiosity I will have is, will my left arm betray me? Okay, here we go. Nope. So right, I was about to yank this weight off the ground, but the system wasn't set. So again, long arms. Right, now I'm taking the slack out of the system. Okay. One. Okay. Okay. Let's try the same thing, one-handed. Oh, that burns. That is on fire. Okay. Yeah. Let's go one more time. Right. Oh. Yeah, that's enough of that. Holy crap. Alrighty. Okay. You're gonna sit down. We're gonna do some Turkish get-ups. But in a minute. Oh man. That right outer cheek was burning. Felt good though. Okay. Okay. Let's see, was this 20 pounds? Yeah, that's ought to do. Okay, so I do like seeing some of these like setup videos where they actually like start on their side, right? So it emphasizes that push, right, through your hips, trunk, and not just a curl up. All right, here we go. Punch, push. Nope, did that wrong. That's how it's supposed to be a curl. All right, we're trying to use our whole body, not just crunch down. And that's where, again, I like this idea of like, we have 3 points of work here, right? That if I push down my right foot, left heel, left hand, it allows us to use our whole trunk rather than just trying to crunch it up. All right. That was one on that side. And that's where we can get into the other side. All right, so here we go. All right, 3 points of pushing. All right. And that's that. All right. Now get into the usual shit. So, I know for myself, one of the issues in terms of trying to push myself is sometimes I work out before work and I don't feel like getting as sweaty as I am right now
because I don't always have time to work out and shower. So we'll see how I feel after this. I thought I know there was a while back that I did some kettlebell swings after not having done them. Of course, I did a lot more in terms of volume. My glutes and hams are screaming, so this was good. Apparently, I need to work a little bit on that pelvic control during my split squat and maybe during some other movements, and gives me something to work off of by working on with some heavier weight. So there's value to both. But this was good today. It was a good way to come back. All right. If you did what I did, great. You did your own thing, great. You're just starting, looking for ideas, motivation, discipline, or community to support you. It's what we're here to do. Help each other be a little better every day. So good job today. Keep working hard. We'll see you next time.